This is my new retainer client. So this is the first time I've ever had a client on retainer. Normally I don't like that because it occupies my time when really cool opportunities pop up. But this one is deadline based, so I only have to deliver a certain amount of videos per month, and I can schedule that when it works best for me. So I took their brief and turned it into a script right there. And I like to have it on the laptop so I can easily reference it, so my on-camera talent, they can easily reference it and keep them on the same page, and that way they're not guessing what's my next line. But essentially we are making reels and marketing material for this boxing product, and they have a couple products. The ones we're focusing on is the VR product, so you're like in a Oculus boxing, hitting this pad, and also they have some sensors on the wrist, and that one you can just look at the pad on an iPad or mobile device or cast it to a TV. So we are trying to show all the different ways to use the products, the different options in the app, and make it look clean and fun. So we have a big key light kind of giving room fill, and then a little bit of directional light from that LED panel to the left side. I'm getting audio from a lav, which he has on his neck, and then that shotgun mic is just getting backup audio just in case. Hopefully we don't have to use that, but it's there just in case. And also I can pick up the audio from the iPad, which has proven to be very helpful when syncing to the screen recordings from the iPad or the recorded casts from the Oculus. So it gets really technical when you're matching up all the stuff, but the shoot is essentially a couple of dialogue lines per video and matching B-roll and just showing off the product. So here, we started at 4 p.m. It took about an hour to get everything set up, inform them, tell them everything about what's going on. And we shot the guy first, got his stuff out of the way. He had an appointment later. And then we have Christina, who we're shooting now, and it's her boyfriend, Kirk. So it was a nice deal that I could shoot both of them. The client requested one guy, one girl. So this worked out great. And Christina is a videographer herself, so she knows how production works, and she's very familiar with the flow. But it's late right now. It is about 9 p.m., and so I'm trying to make it look like morning. So you see I put the Amaran 200X outside the patio, shooting some light rays through the windows, which is landing on the table, landing on the wall, and making it look like morning. So just a cheat way to do it if timing isn't on your side. And then I have the panel cutting through some diffusion, and it really wasn't enough. You can see on the left side of the frame in front of that candle, she had a little LED panel too. So that's just giving her a little bit of fill on her side, but it's very harsh directional light. So I just ordered another light. It's not as big as the 200X, but it will help for just bringing up the overall level, and it's small too. So it's the Amaran 60D, I believe. So it's very small, and it's battery powered, which is nice because it can be plugged into the wall, which is more commonly what I'll use, but it gives me the option to move the light around. So a lot of times when I'm shooting conference work, we are set in place, everything's plugged in, but sometimes they say, hey, can we actually grab a soundbite out on the patio? And I am scrambling, looking for outlets, seeing if my extension cords are long enough. So having this new light will be able to provide the mobility and options to, we can go out there, no problem. Let me just put a battery in and we're good to go. It looks like morning.
$100 for a tripod, so...
I'm gonna pay more like $600 for the tripod head.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So instead, I downloaded the free Lightboxer app.
Do it, do the scroll again, and like, but don't over pull the scroll, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, ready.
So instead, I downloaded the free Lightboxer app.
Perfect. That one was really good. Christina actually got me this job. She initially recommended me to an influencer who wanted more polished videos, and we did a bunch of videos for his client. That client ended up being impressed and saying, we want the videographer to make more videos for us. So that's how I got this contract, and I used it as an opportunity to pay her back as a favor. And now the shoot is over with. Their apartment is back to normal, and it's about 10 p.m. So 6 hours on site. I took all the footage from yesterday, threw it on a hard drive this morning, charged the batteries, and now going to another shoot. This one's for corporate, or not corporate, but social media ads. So it'll be in a studio. Shouldn't be difficult at all, but it'll take a few hours. And they want an immediate turnaround of the first ad. So we're gonna stop production after the first shot, upload to Dropbox, and then continue. All right, I got 2 minutes before I'm supposed to walk in, and just something that I've been deciding over the last few days, going back and forth ever since filming with the A7S III and Rolling Loud, and the ease of use, the freedom it gives you with the insane high ISO has really been on my mind. The problem with that is I have a Canon system, the ecosystem, and I pre-ordered the R7 to be the B cam. So I saw on YouTube Parker Walbeck did a comparison, and it did not match at all, which completely defeats the purpose of having it as a B cam. But it was in very, very stressing conditions. There's no lighting, there's nothing. Another YouTuber posted and showed the R7 matching very, very well. So the ideal Sony setup, if I could do it, would be just grab one FX6 for the type of situations where you're just sitting in a place, it's on tripod, or you need lots of different audio sources, and that would be the built-out rig. And then you'd have, if you need to quickly grab B-roll, you would have the A7S III FX3 on a gimbal with nothing on it, no cage, nothing. Keep it as light as possible, as fast as possible to use. So to do the whole switch over would cost more than I want to do right now, but if I get the R7, I'm just deeper into the Canon ecosystem. So I don't know, it's a tough decision. Also right now all the FX6s are on a 6 month to a year waiting list, so I can't even do that if I want to. So I don't know, I'm not sure which one to do. I'm still waiting for the pre-order to even be notified that it's being shipped. I don't know when it's coming. I do have some jobs coming up actually in about 20 days where I need 2 cameras. So hopefully it comes before then, or I have to rent something else. But quick rant on whether I throw all my gear out the window and go with Sony, and I'm undecided. Back to work. So this is in a studio that already has lighting, so I am just contributing the video and audio side, which is single lavalier. And then they introduced me to this teleprompter. It's just plastic, no electronics, but you can put your phone in the tray and load the dialogue onto an app, and the client can look directly down the barrel, deliver their line, and read the text just like, you know, a normal teleprompter, except I feel like it has way less fuss. They are knocking out a few reels before we begin. That is Xavier, who was right next to her, and he's their social media guy. He's really, really good at what he does, and it's time to begin. Client requested a vertical video, so the nice thing about the C70 is it has a 1/4 here that you can just take the hand strap off and put the base plate in. That way your entire rig goes vertical and it's quick to switch over. When we are using the teleprompter, I like to have I think this is a 11-foot iPhone cable, because my phone goes right here and it just keeps it charged. I don't have to worry about battery issues. And speaking about battery, we have the DC port for continuous power. This is just backup. And if you're plugging in, it's always good to wrap it on something so the stress is on here and not on the port. So I have 2 of these, the Rode Filmmaker Kit logs. They're the most robust system that Rode offers, but the size comparison is really big, and when you're putting these on clients, the client prefers to wear this. They don't want a massive thing hanging off their belt buckle. And when you're loading accessories onto your camera rig, this is so small, it barely changes the weight. So if you're on a gimbal, or if you just don't want things hanging off the side, this is a lot better option. The reason I chose these is because they have AA batteries. So if these empty, I can just put new ones in. Whereas for these, if they empty, you have to plug them in or find a USB power bank source. So I'm not really sure if I should stay with these for reliability purposes or for convenience use these. But they're both awesome. These are just a little easier to use. Now, my reasoning for switching camera systems is actually more in the brand than it is what the current products are. So the way Canon vertically releases their products, they have the C300s at the top, C70 in the middle, and then their hybrids at the bottom, R5C, R5. They have different codecs and features for each one, which makes it very hard to grab 2 of those products and make them match. Either it's not the same sensor, it's not the same whatever. But with Sony, it's almost, they're all full frame, they're all E-mount, and they throw all the features at every product. And I think in the long term, that is a better company to invest gear in, rather than the way Canon does it. So that is kind of what's shifting my mind. It's not actually what products are currently better than the other. It's which one do I want to start building around. And even though it'll cost money to switch, I think it is a smarter decision. This is actually the only client that I am offering editing services to, and that is because they want a complete product delivered. So I will shoot it, edit it, and deliver to them, make sure it all looks good. And so far I'm pretty happy with how it came out. I've made these videos before for the previous influencer, but it's interesting when you are directing, conducting the entire thing. As for the future, I have a couple jobs coming up, some corporate work, possibly another music festival, and I need to figure out this camera situation. But side note, I made this standing desk from an old tripod and a laptop thing that I bought from Best Buy for $50, but I will let you guys know when the next job pops up and hopefully make a vlog.